Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to talk about my preferred handgun for OWB, or outside the waistband, the Glock 34. Now we're not going to just talk about some plain Jane Glock 34 off the shelf. There's a million reviews on the Glock 34 on YouTube. Today we're going to look at 3 different options, variants of the Glock 34 that I have in my possession, all tailored towards different uses. This will hopefully give you guys a little bit of an idea if you're trying to build a Glock 34, what you want to do, what you want to use it for, or if maybe you already have one already, give you an idea of what you might want to add on to it. Before we get into those 3 variants, why do I like the Glock 34? Inch longer, inch stronger. Now, first up, more than anything, it's the increased sight radius. This obviously is going to let you have a little bit better shot placement. You can line things up a little bit better. The increased sight radius is really beneficial. You see a lot of people run RMRs on Glock 34s. I think that takes away, well, it does take away from the sight radius, but you're also putting on a red dot, so I like to just run irons. Maybe I'll run an RMR in the future, but the increased sight radius is why I like it the most. Second, ergonomics. It's a full-size gun, it's heavier than your 17, shoots really nice. My friend AT on the internet says it's like shaking hands with Jesus when you hold on to a Glock 34 or a Glock 17 frame. I don't know what that feels like, but I'm sure it feels good. Lastly, increased velocity. For some people this is really important, but if you're going from a Glock 17 to a Glock 34 barrel length, you're only going to get about 50 feet per second. That's not a lot, but it is something. For some of you out there, you want that extra 50 feet per second. I have 3 applications for the Glock 34 in my life. First off being competition. Man, that feels good. A lot of people run the Glock 34 in competition for some of the reasons I stated earlier. It's really shootable, full-size grip. There's also a lot of aftermarket parts you can put in the Glock 34 to squeeze out performance. Now the Glock 34 isn't going to be the most accurate, it's not going to be the most soft shooting, but it's pretty good in those categories. And like I said, you can squeeze some performance out of it by adding match grade barrels, triggers, mag wells, things like that. And then you have a pretty good competition gun. I don't shoot competition a lot, so I'm not going to invest in something that's, you know, $2,500, $3,000. The Glock 34 with a better trigger and a mag well, maybe a match grade barrel, will suffice for the amount of competitions I shoot in a year. Second area would be OWB for self-defense. I don't do that a lot, but in the winter months, sometimes it's nice to carry a big a gun as possible for self-defense outside the waistband. It's comfortable. If I'm wearing a hoodie or a jacket, it conceals nicely. And again, it's not something I do all the time, but if I have to use a gun in self-defense, I want the biggest and baddest one I possibly can carry. Third would be really outside the waistband, and that would be a home defense gun. In a nightstand, in a safe, in a staged area in your home. Maybe the Glock 34 isn't your primary home defense gun, but it's a good candidate. You're getting good capacity, and it's really easy and comfortable to shoot should you need it. All right, let's take a quick look at these 3 Glock 34s I have. Hopefully this gives you guys some ideas. If you want a really in-depth review on any of these 3 models, leave me a comment down below. I'm sure I can make that happen. First up is Noah's Glock 34 Polymer 80. This is a Polymer 80 17 frame. The 34 and the 17 are the same frame. It is an OD green frame. For those of you that are new to the channel, we have plenty of other Polymer 80 videos. You can go check those out. We're big fans of the Polymer 80s around here. You can get these shipped to your door for 150 bucks. You finish them, you're the manufacturer, drop your parts in, and you basically have a Glock. The ergonomics on the Polymer 80 frames are really nice. They do a lot of the stuff that most people do to Glocks aftermarket. Undercut trigger guards, good texture, no finger bumps. This feels more like a 1911 grip, which is really comfortable in my hands. On top we have a Zev slide, window cuts in here all over the place, and it is also cut for an RMR. Back to what I was saying earlier, this does obviously take away from your sight radius because these are now your backup sights instead of your primary, but to each their own. Red dots are nice to use. I recently started switching to them, use them on my carry guns. Noah likes this one. Pretty sure he's going to keep it on there. In the slide, we have a S3f Barrel. These are great barrels, very accurate. It's threaded on the end so you can run a suppressor. Go check out S3f Barrels if you haven't heard of them. They're phenomenal. This gun would be a do-all Glock 34 in my opinion. You could use it in competition, you could use it for self-defense, home defense. It's got a little bit of everything in it. Just a good option if you want one gun to do a lot of things. The next Glock 34 is tailored towards competition. This is a Terran Tactical Combat Master. This is the gun of John Wick. This gun just has tons of performance. The trigger on it is between 2 and 3 pounds. Probably one of the better Glock triggers I've ever felt. It's clean, crisp, soft. Like it a lot. Huge mag well on here for your reloads. You can literally take your reload, chuck it, and it'll find its way in there. They did retexture it and undercut it right here. Feels really good in the hands. Moving up, they have their slide on here, some window cuts in here, and the Terran Tactical logo, match grade barrel in it. Some competition sights, blacked out rear, green fiber optic front. This is a gun that just begs to be shot in a competition. I'm going to use this gun at the Tactical Athlete Games in October. Really looking forward to shooting a gun like this in competition. Lastly, this is a Glock 34 I built purely for self-defense. So there's not really any bells and whistles on it, but there are some features that I think make this a better self-defense option. It has a low-profile magwell on here from Magpul. It's their polymer magwell. I do have a review on this. If you want to see a specific review on it, go down through my video list. You'll see it. Awesome piece of equipment for your Glock for 20 bucks. And it doesn't print at all. I have this gun retextured, no finger bumps. It is undercut, makes it nice and ergonomic. Inside the frame, I have an Innovative Gunfighter Solutions trigger. This is their duty trigger. It is 5 pounds. And you're thinking, well, why did you add a 5-pound trigger when you could have just used the stock 5-pound trigger? This is the same weight, but it's cleaned up. So it's really crisp. Reset is nice and shallow. You can go back into it. So I'm not running a super light trigger for self-defense. That always just makes me a little nervous. I like the 5-pound weight. I just wanted a little bit cleaner of a trigger, and this Innovative Gunfighter Solutions trigger is perfect. I have a Streamlight Tlr-2 on here. This is a great light. Tons of reviews on this light out there. I think you should have a light on your home defense gun or self-defense gun, and this Tlr-2 does the job fine. Slide on top is from P80.com. Go check those guys out. I got the slide and match grade barrel for around 200 bucks, which was a great deal. There's nothing fancy on this slide. As you can see here, there's no cutout, which you will typically see on factory Glock 34 slides. This makes this slide a little heavier, and I like it because heavier means it's going to be a little softer shooting, and it is. Not by a ton, but I can definitely feel it. They have some very minimal slide serrations up front, nothing crazy. They have the slide serrations in the back as well. I have a set of just regular Ameriglow sights on here, competition sights, which are blacked out rear, red fiber optic front. There's nothing fancy about this gun. It's just good quality components. I just wanted this to be a good, solid, reliable, defensive handgun. Alright guys, so those are 3 options, all a little bit different, all tailored towards different types of uses. Let me know down in the comments if you're building a Glock 34, or if you think I should add anything to the ones you've seen today. If you like this video, please hit that like button, share it with your buddies. Go check us out on Instagram and Facebook. If you want to support Wise Men Company, and we appreciate every bit of support, go to wisemencompany.com. Tons of products over there. Fast shipping. I know you can find something you'll like over at wisemencompany.com. Guys, thank you. We'll see you on the next video.